All right, let's talk about something every writer dreads, the murky, muddy middle of a script. That place where great ideas just seem to get lost. But don't worry, today we're going to crack it wide open.
So, does this sound familiar? You've got this amazing beginning. You know exactly where you're going to end up, but you are completely lost in that huge empty space between page, say, 30 and 90. Trust me, you are not alone. It's the Bermuda Triangle of screenwriting, where most scripts, honestly, just go to die.
But what if I told you there's a way through it? Well, there is. We've got a powerful 3-step playbook that's going to give you the structure and the momentum you need. The goal here isn't just to survive the middle, it's to make it the most compelling part of your entire story.
Okay, let's get into it. Play number 1 is what we call the deceptive plan. Think of this as the engine for your entire middle section. And yeah, it might sound a little weird, but the whole idea is to use some kind of deception to actually reveal a deeper truth about your main character.
So the plan that's going to drive your hero through the second act? It's all about misdirection. Your hero creates some kind of scam, some kind of deception to get what they want. It's a classic move. They make their opponent think they're doing one thing when really they're doing something else entirely.
But why? Why a scam? Well, think about it. All great comedy is about revealing who we really are underneath all the masks we wear. And when you strip away those facades, when you expose that raw, authentic, maybe even embarrassing person underneath, that's what makes us laugh. So your hero's scam? That's the crowbar you're going to use to pry that mask off.
We can actually break this down into a really practical exercise. Let's call it the disguise drill. First up, for a solid comic foundation, you drop your character into a super simple archetype. Think animal, child, or machine. Next, and this part is absolutely crucial, you force your hero to wear the one disguise they would least want to wear in the entire world, the one that pokes at their biggest weakness. Third, you make that disguise a trap, something they can't just easily take off. And finally, you tell the audience about the disguise right from the get-go. Because that gap, that contrast between who they really are and who they're pretending to be, that's comedy gold.
I mean, look no further than the classic film Tootsie for a perfect example. Dustin Hoffman's character, he's this arrogant actor, he doesn't respect women at all. So what does the script do? It forces him into the single disguise that perfectly targets that flaw. He has to become a woman. And it's this brilliant deception that forces him to confront his own weakness and, finally grow as a person.
Okay, so you've got your deceptive plan locked in, but now you need to add some fuel to that fire. And that brings us right to play number 2, constant danger. This is all about raising the stakes and creating some real, palpable urgency.
Just think of it this way. Maximum pressure equals maximum comedy. Seriously. Throughout that entire middle section of your script, your hero has got to be in some kind of jeopardy. This constant threat is what keeps the comedy sharp and, just as importantly, drives the story forward. Whatever you do, do not let them get comfortable.
And you see this in so many great movies, right? In Ghostbusters, it's the very real danger of being attacked by ghosts. For the Blues Brothers, it's the cops constantly on their tail. In Victor Victoria, it's the fear of being exposed as a fraud, which would mean social ruin. And in Beverly Hills Cop, the stakes are literally life and death. The key thing here is that in every single one of these, the danger is specific, and it is always there. So the danger you create has to be a real story-driving threat. You got to keep that pressure high. But, and this is a really important rule, especially if you're writing a comedy, use a ton of danger, but almost never show actual death. You want the audience to feel the stakes, to be on the edge of their seats, but without completely killing the funny comedic tone.
Okay, this brings us to our third and final play, and this is the one that really ties everything we've talked about together. It's called Escalating Nightmares, and this is how you actually structure all that danger and deception to genuinely force your hero to change.
You see, a great script isn't just about one big climax at the very end. No, it's a whole series of what we can call lesser nightmares that just keep building in intensity. These are the specific scenes, the sequences in the middle of your story that are constantly challenging your hero, forcing them to confront their fears, one step at a time.
And this quote right here, it gets right to the heart of how to create these nightmares. Just ask yourself this one simple question. What would my hero absolutely, under no circumstances, ever do? Go ahead, make a list of all their taboos. Got it? Good. Because that list, it just became their to-do list for the entire script.
So the drill for this is super simple, but incredibly effective. Step 1, identify all of your hero's taboos. Step 2, make them do those things over and over again. And step 3, you escalate. Every single time they face one of these nightmares, it has to be in a slightly different form and at a higher intensity. This is how you create a character arc that feels earned, and a middle that builds relentlessly towards that final climax.
So, there you have it. 3 really powerful strategies to turn that swampy middle of your script into a high-speed highway. Let's do a super quick recap of the playbook.
First, you're going to engineer that deceptive plan. Use a scam and the perfect disguise to really attack your hero's core weakness. Second, you surround them with constant danger to create urgency and keep the comedy going. And third, you build that series of escalating nightmares that force them to do the very things they swore they would never, ever do.
So, I'm going to leave you with this question to get you started. Just for a second, forget everything else and just think about your hero. What is their single greatest weakness? Really nail it down. Now, what is the one disguise, the one role they would have to play that would force them to confront that weakness head-on? You find the answer to that, and you've just found the key to your entire second act.